For decades, Ellen DeGeneres was more than a television host. She was a comforting presence in countless homes. Her voice carried warmth and reassurance. Her humor offered relief from the ordinary pressures of daily life. And her closing words, reminding viewers to be kind, felt like a gentle nudge toward empathy. She wasn't just a fixture on television, she was a ritual, a reliable companion during mornings and afternoons, offering laughter as a shared experience. Behind this laughter, though, was the quiet work of a person navigating both the expectations of a public life and the private rhythms of her own world, showing us that even the most luminous figures carry complexities unseen. A subtle shift in perception change rarely arrives as a single thunderclap. Often it unfolds quietly, almost imperceptibly. For Ellen, the moment of shift came not with scandal or confrontation, but through the gentle ripple of public reflection. In early 2020, people began to share stories about their interactions with her, some highlighting moments of awkwardness or misunderstandings. While these stories were diverse and varied, together they formed a collective reassessment of the figure that had long been associated with kindness and humor. The moment reminded everyone, including Ellen herself, that public perception is delicate and can shift in ways no one fully controls, even after decades of building trust and connection. The power of reflection. As her work continued, Ellen confronted the reality that influence carries responsibility, and that perception and intention do not always align. She acknowledged moments where her workplace culture could be strengthened and worked to ensure that the environment around her aligned with the values she cherished on screen. Reflection, rather than defensiveness, became the guiding principle, demonstrating that growth often comes not in triumph, but in careful consideration of the impact one has on others. This period was a quiet reminder that even those who bring joy can benefit from introspection, humility, and change. The weight of expectations. Returning to television after such reflection, Ellen experienced firsthand how public expectation can shape every moment. The energy in the studio, the audience's response, and even the simplest gestures were now under a magnifying glass. Ratings and attention shifted, not as a punishment, but as a natural response to the evolving cultural moment. Yet through this, Ellen maintained her professionalism, her grace, and her trademark humor, proving that resilience is not the absence of challenge, but the ability to navigate it thoughtfully while remaining present for the work she loves. Choosing an ending. After nearly 2 decades of hosting, Ellen announced the conclusion of her show in 2021, framing it as a personal choice. While she cited the desire for creative renewal, the decision also reflected the culmination of years of dedication, reflection, and growth. The final episode, aired in 2022, was a mixture of celebration, gratitude, and gentle nostalgia. Colleagues, friends, and familiar faces returned to honor the journey. The applause and smiles conveyed appreciation, but the underlying truth was quieter. Endings are rarely pure triumphs. They carry memory, reflection, and the subtle acknowledgement that every chapter, no matter how luminous, has its own rhythm of closure. A legacy of laughter and humanity. Ellen's career cannot be summarized by a single achievement or controversy. She reshaped daytime television, normalized conversations about identity, and brought joy into homes on a scale few could imagine. At the same time, she demonstrated that public influence is paired with private responsibility. Her legacy is not defined solely by acclaim or criticism, but by the balance of both. The humor she brought into the world and the thoughtfulness she cultivated behind the scenes. It is a reminder that impact is measured not only by applause, but by the consistency of kindness, reflection, and intention. Childhood shadows. Before the spotlight ever reached her, Ellen's early life was marked by challenges that shaped her resilience. Born in Louisiana in 1958, she experienced family transitions and instability that left lasting impressions. These early experiences shaped her understanding of trust, empathy, and the role of humor as a tool for connection and self-preservation. Laughter became more than entertainment. It was a shield, a language for navigating discomfort, and a bridge to the world she wanted to inhabit. From these beginnings, she developed both the resilience and the empathy that would later define her public persona. Learning to laugh through life. Ellen's path to success was neither straight nor easy. Early adulthood brought financial uncertainty, long hours, and the need to find her voice amidst doubt. Comedy clubs served as classrooms where she honed her craft, learning to observe, interpret, and connect. Each performance was a lesson in patience and perseverance. Humor became a way to endure, to translate personal and social observations into shared experience. By embracing vulnerability within her performances, she gradually transformed uncertainty into opportunity, shaping a voice that would resonate far beyond the stage. Breaking through and breaking barriers. Ellen's breakthrough in television came with appearances on late-night shows, where her originality and timing began to garner attention. Soon after, her sitcom offered a platform for her humor and perspective. Her decision in 1997 to publicly share her identity was historic, courageous, and deeply personal. It opened doors for authenticity in an era when honesty carried risk. Though the show ended shortly thereafter, the act itself reshaped cultural dialogue and demonstrated that personal truth often requires courage, patience, and the willingness to face societal hesitation, reinvention, and renewal. Rather than retreating after setbacks, Ellen embraced reinvention. Her daytime talk show, debuting in 2003, became a space where humor met empathy, where ordinary people were celebrated, and where moments of vulnerability were valued as much as laughter. Over the years, the show evolved into a cultural touchstone, offering comfort and connection during times of uncertainty. Through her work, Ellen demonstrated that resilience is not only about survival, it is about intentionally creating spaces where joy, generosity, and authenticity can coexist. Love in the spotlight. Ellen's personal life, like her career, unfolded in public view, shaped by both progress and scrutiny. Early relationships, often met with societal resistance, highlighted the challenges of visibility and the courage required to live openly. Over time, she found stability with a partner who shared values of honesty, patience, and mutual respect. Their relationship was quiet, grounded, and enduring, proving that love can exist without spectacle, and that happiness is measured not by approval, but by understanding, trust, and companionship. Health, aging, and adaptation. As the years progressed, Ellen embraced the realities of health and aging, recognizing that strength has limits and that rest is an essential act of self-respect. Physical challenges replaced some of the relentless energy of earlier years, prompting reflection and recalibration. She found grounding in routine, mindfulness, and the rhythms of life outside the spotlight. In doing so, she reframed rest not as retreat, but as renewal, a way to honor both body and mind while remaining fully present in the life she had built. Stepping back with grace. In recent years, Ellen has chosen distance over dominance, reflection over performance. She no longer moves through life seeking approval or attention, instead opting for authenticity and introspection. Her humor remains, but it is quieter, gentler, and enriched by perspective. She appears not to reclaim a spotlight, but to inhabit it on her own terms. Through this choice, she demonstrates that personal evolution is possible even after decades of public life, and that stepping back can be as powerful as stepping forward. Our life beyond applause. Ellen DeGeneres' story resists simple narratives of triumph or failure. She brought laughter into millions of homes, shaped cultural conversations, and demonstrated resilience in the face of professional and personal transitions. She emerged not erased, but transformed, illustrating that public figures are human, capable of inspiring, learning, and evolving. Her life reminds us that influence carries responsibility and that growth is continuous, nuanced, and deeply personal. What remains? Ultimately, what remains is a life lived with courage, humor, and introspection. Ellen DeGeneres will be remembered for the laughter she brought, the boundaries she challenged, and the grace with which she has navigated both recognition and reflection. Her legacy asks us to hold multiple truths at once: that generosity and imperfection coexist, that visibility is complex, and that kindness is a practice, not a slogan. Above all, it reminds us that the most meaningful measure of a life is the care, presence, and reflection we bring to it, long after the applause fades.